Well, thank you so much for that, for waiting, and I apologize for the delay. I'm going to go ahead and switch this around so you can actually see my screen in a moment. All right, and now you should be able to see my screen. Could you type in the group chat to tell me if you can see that? Right, so looking at this presentation, this was the first slide I added with the new information. And to get on to our regular presentation, if you want to see this presentation, you can go ahead and go to this bit.ly URL, bit.ly/1 FOTEZN, and you'll be able to see this presentation and follow along. So to get started, a few things about me. My name is Claire Varner. I'm the Chief Academic Officer at History. And to let you know a little bit more about my background, if you want to click on this timeline and follow along, you're more than welcome to. And History is a fairly new company, and I've only been here since December. Before this, I was a teacher, and I always feel like I will always be a teacher. I started off going to the University of New England. That's how I got to the East Coast. I'm originally from Michigan. And after graduating, I actually taught English in China. And once I was there, I taught there for about 7 months. And then eventually I found this little middle school in Maine, and they had a position open for a middle school social studies teacher. And that's where I ended up before I came to history. So engaging middle school students in social studies is very dear to me. And going back to this presentation, if you need to contact me at any time, please feel free to reach out via email, via Twitter. My phone is also at the bottom of all my emails if you need to give me a phone call as well. So going on to the main part of our presentation. What exactly is history? Well, it's this timeline creation platform, and you can see from the screen that it works on a number of different formats. You can use it on a desktop computer, you can use it on a laptop, as I will show you today, you can use it on any kind of tablet, even an iPhone. And there's actually two components to history. The first is this free timeline creation platform, and the second is our History Premium, which is a paid subscription, $15 a month or $120 a year, and this can actually replace a textbook. But today I will focus on the timeline creation piece. So you think of a traditional timeline creation tool, and sometimes it goes horizontally across the stream, sometimes vertically, and history is the same way. It's going vertically down the screen, and you can add different blocks. But what makes this a little bit different is the interaction piece. And so you can actually add quiz questions, quiz blocks into the timelines that you create. And the other part, besides the interactivity, is this comments feature, where students can actually collaborate with each other. You can, as the teacher, can ask a discussion question. So before we actually start to look at the tool, let's look at this question, defining engagement. Because without engagement, what's the point? You don't want students to just sit there passively in their chairs as the teacher, stands up in a very traditional classroom and gives a lecture the whole time. Students do not want to sit passively. That's not how they learn best. And so just a question to get you in the right frame of mind. This is an excellent question to ask teachers and especially students. While I was teaching middle school, we started off our year asking students this question, and this is how we actually created our class vision. And we would compare our class vision to similar how the founding fathers had to create a constitution for the country so that everything runs like it's supposed to, and everyone's really happy and doing well and prosperous. So in our classroom, you want to ask this question. For a student, if you're working the hardest you've ever worked and learning the most you've ever learned, what would the classroom look like? What would the classroom sound like? What would the classroom feel like? So just thinking about that for a moment, whether you're a student, a teacher, a principal, anyone can answer this question. What does your classroom look like? How are the desks arranged? Do you see students? Are they sitting in their desks? Are they on the floor? Are they standing and walking around? What's on the board? Is something written on the board? Is there student work hanging somewhere? What does the teacher's desk look like? What does the classroom look like? And the next question, what does the classroom sound like? So if perhaps someone is standing in the hall and they just have an ear kind of leaning toward your classroom, what are they going to hear? Are they going to hear a desk door slamming closed or a file cabinet the same way? Are they going to hear music? Is there a video playing in the background? What's the noise level? What noise level are the students speaking? Are they whispering? Are kids yelling and screaming across the room at each other? Does it sound like on-task talking about some project in US history? Is it off-task talking? What are the sounds? Can you hear the typing if you have laptops in your room? And the last question, what would the classroom feel like? I taught middle school. We like to talk about our feelings. So what's that feeling when you first walk through the door? Number one, my classroom had to feel safe. Learning can't happen if a student is feeling threatened. So what does the classroom feel like? Does it feel really tense, like we're about to have a pop quiz and we're not sure how we're going to do? Or is it more relaxed and so far relaxed that it doesn't matter if this work gets done or not because we're going to have the rest of the year to do it? Is there kind of that purposeful feeling where everyone's doing something and they're in a little bit of rush because they can't wait to get to the next project? So what does the classroom feel like? And the next part is a think, pair, share, but we won't actually do that since I can't interact with you right now. But if I was actually there, we would do a quick think, pair, share. So you would think about this for a moment, and then you would pair with a partner nearby, and then you would actually share your answers. And so with think, pair, share, my 2 cents about wait time. Give students time to wait. There's a lot of little tools that you can use to actually add wait time to make it easier for you. If you just type into Google Timer, you can bring a stopwatch up right on your screen. And that was the easiest way for me. I'm in a rush to do things all the time, but wait time is important. A quick little story. I always gave students wait time when I was first teaching because that's what my textbooks told me to do. 2.5 years into teaching, I got a concussion. And all of a sudden, I'm going to stop this. It'll chime in a moment. Okay. And so after this concussion, all of a sudden, I needed wait time. I couldn't answer your question just instantly. I couldn't talk fast anymore. My process had slowed down so much. And so it really brought home the point to me that wait time is extremely important. Whether you're a gifted and talented student, the average Joe in the classroom, or your students way at the bottom, everyone will benefit greatly from wait time. So give students at least 30 seconds to a minute. I prefer a minute for thinking, and then actually pairing. Typically that takes about 2 minutes, and then sharing. This is where you want to share with the class even and really get that rich discussion going. So thinking about engagement, my ideal classroom, I'm going to have my desk, there's going to be different stations set up. I will have some stations for independent learning, some for collaboration, and probably a discussion circle in there as well. You would see everything going on in my classroom. The sound, I love the sound of keyboards. The sound of keyboards, that means that students are producing some kind of work. I taught in a one-to-one environment. You would also hear a lot of talking in my room. In that independent corner where students are working alone, that will be quiet, but those discussions, their voice level is going to be a little bit lower than normal so that they can have those rich discussions and feel like, number one, safe, as I mentioned before, and also it's going to feel like it's a little bit rushed sometimes because they have so much work to do, but it's also going to feel like a place that they want to be, where even if they don't have to be there, they will be there. Okay, so getting back to history now. How does history tie into this whole engagement thing? Well, at history, our team is just trying to make things a little bit easier for teachers to make your classes engaged, to create some kind of platform where students can easily comment in a way that's very familiar to them. And so what I'm going to do is walk you through some different features on history now and show you how they can be applied in our classroom. So what I did just now is I clicked on this link. This will take you to our features page, which is right up here. And the main part is to create. You can create these rich interactive timelines. You as the teacher can create them for the lesson, or you can have your students create these timelines. It's really perfect for the show me what you know styles of assessment. Teachers are using this in all different subjects across disciplines, all different age levels. And with this creation piece, if you do anything with student learning portfolios, it's an excellent way to highlight student learning, and I will tell you more about that later. The next key feature is the engagement piece. You can add in quiz questions. You can see right here some text on the page. But with that text, it's really nice, but what about those kids who just scroll through and they're not actually reading? So if we add in these little quiz questions that check for understanding and are a little bit fun once in a while, it's going to hold their attention. The next part is actually exploring the content. By creating different kinds of boxes so that it's not completely text like a traditional textbook is, you can break things up a little bit. You can add in different words as you see fauna right there so that you can actually have students click on the words and the definition will appear. So exploring is a key piece. The next part is expressing yourself. Think of your students. How many have smartphones? How many are on Facebook? How many are on Snapchat? Twitter, any kind of social media. There's so many things out there. And this very fast, informal way of talking, text speak, making quick comments, that's what they are used to. So instead of trying to teach students to do something completely new, why not take what they're already doing in their spare time with writing comments and add that feature to the classroom? And that's what this allows you to do. Any kind of block that is created on a timeline, students will be able to add comments to it. The next piece is media. You can add image, videos, audios, anything on YouTube that you find, you can actually embed in a timeline. And so that makes it great. There's so many excellent historical resources online. And there's also so many teachers who are making lessons and putting them for the world to see on YouTube. And you can actually put those right into your timelines for more information. And the last key feature that I mentioned is everywhere. You can use this on any device. Using history with my nephews at Christmas time, it's great because they get to be my guinea pigs. My 2-year-old nephew he can't use the iPad and a laptop as well, but my iPhone, he's used to scrolling through pictures on his parents' iPhones. He could scroll through and look at the animal sounds timeline I had made him. So those are really the key features. So the next part that I'd like you to do is actually create an account. You can go to www.history.co.co and you click on the login button in the upper right corner. You're going to register as a teacher, confirm your account and your email. An email will be sent to you. If you don't get an email within a few seconds, double check that it didn't go into your spam folder. Sometimes that happens. And then The last piece, you were going to add a comment saying it's all set, but that doesn't seem to be working at the moment, so we won't do that. All right, I'm just going to stop and switch back to my face here. So as I said before, what you're doing now is creating an account on history. And once you do that, then I'm going to walk you through the steps. And I'll give you just a few moments so that you can actually create that account. And so you should be seeing my screen again. So I'll just show you those steps real quick. Once you go to history.co, you're going to click on login right here in the upper right corner. And you can just see real quick from our homepage that we have our featured timelines. We have a timeline of the month that's always free. Right here is that create interactive timelines blurb. There's a featured timelines right down here as well. So I'm going to click on login. And I'm actually already logged in. And so I'm going to log out and just log in again so you can see this process. I'm going to sign in with my email and my password. You would actually click, I'm a teacher and I want to sign up. And so once you're actually logged in, this banner at the top, if you want to get rid of it, you can press the X. This past Tuesday was our official launch. Until that point, we had been in beta. Beta just means in development. So we weren't advertising history a lot. We were still trying to keep a small amount of users and see how they actually liked history and how we could improve based on their feedback. Now, after being in beta so long, we feel like this product is ready for the world to see. So I'm just going to go ahead and X out of that. All right, so this is your teacher dashboard. You can see from my dashboard that I have already created a few classes. I have some sample classes, an actual class, period A, period B, and then I also have a class from a conference that I did a few weeks ago. When you need to create a class, simply click on this plus sign, and you're going to want to create a class for each of your classes. So I'm just going to call this period D, since I haven't made my period D class, and I'm going to click on middle school and create class. And voila, you have a new class. Now, you'll see from here is that I haven't made any timelines available to this class, and I'll actually click on that section in just a moment. One piece to say about student registration, it's really easy. Students do the same thing when they go to history. They click on login and they say, I'm a student and want to sign up. All they need to know is this 4-digit code and have a username and password ready. So this is the code that you actually give to the students when they want to register. It's one of the quickest websites I've used as a teacher for having students sign up. Onboarding, it's fast. So making timelines available to the class, I'm just going to click on the timeline section. This goes to the same link that this timelines does up here. And once you click on timelines, there are going to be 4 categories. The first is this history timeline. And these are timelines created by our staff of historians and teachers at history. Some of the timelines are free. Some you actually have to pay for the history premium to gain access to. Over here is the community timelines, and I'll go more in depth in that in a second. Right here is where you'll see the first 3 of your student timelines that have been created. You can see from mine, I have 8 timelines that have been created on here. And then your timelines, the timelines that you actually create, will be in here. And so if I click on view all here, you can see I've made a lot of timelines. And I'm going to click this back button, or you can also click on timelines again. This community timeline piece, I'm going to click on view all. And this is just an awesome new feature. Our community timelines used to just be shared within our community. Now you can actually publish your timelines and share them with the public. You can share them on social media. So I'm going to click on this one for classroom rules and procedures. and click on View Timeline. This was recently made, and you can see the creator's name right up at the top. And if you want to share this timeline with your students, you just think, hey, this is an awesome timeline. My students could benefit from something like this. We're going to click on Share with my period D that I just made. And you can see classroom rules and procedures, and this teacher has made a bunch of memes to demonstrate her classroom rules and procedures. So now that it's with my period D, I'm actually going to go back to my classes, and I'm going to click on my period D right here, and I can see this timeline. And I see that's shared with period D. And now the timeline is going to look a little bit different. This timeline is private now. It's only shared with my class. So if I want to ask students to leave comments on here, I can just have them click on the comment button and write their comments here. And press enter, and now the comment actually appears. And it will say you while you're looking at it. For your students, you will be able to see their usernames written right below here. So now what I look like if you're talking while I'm talking, just a cute little way to give instructions. If you want to ask a question, you can write it down here. Another way to look at this, I'm going to do another example with timelines. And I'll click on View All again. And actually for this one, I'm going to use a history timeline. And I'm going to go to the Civil War, Elizabeth Cecily in the White House. And with all of our history made timelines, there's a lesson plan as well as the timeline. I'm going to share it with my period D. And now that it's shared, I'm going to click back on my classes. Period D has 2 timelines. And now when I'm looking at this timeline, I can see the comments. And so think of the possibilities. If you're familiar with the activity, think, pair, share. This is an excellent time to do that. So you can tell students, I would like you to focus just on this picture right here. And I wouldn't describe it. I would just give them time to think and say, what do you think? Or what do you, I'm sorry, I see, think, wonder. What do you see in this picture? Write one comment saying something that you see. And then students can write here. And they can say something about, I see an older man and 2 kids. 2 kids. Oops, 2 kids. And I'll leave it like that for now. Press enter and it will appear right below it. And the next question, after I got my answers from my class on what do you see, I would ask the question, what do you think? So what do you think is going on in this picture? Why do you think the man is looking like that? Why do you think the kid looks like he's about ready to run away from the chair? Why do you think the man has this, is it a cane? What do you think that is? Is it for walking? Because it looks pretty skinny. What do you think is behind this curtain? And you would have students write what you think. And the third question, what do you wonder? What do you wonder about this picture? What's going on? What's one question that you could ask about what you wonder? And so now we just have a few more minutes because of the late start. I'm going to go back to my timelines. And I'm going to actually create a new timeline. Anytime you see this plus button, it means you can do something with it. So go ahead and click on it. And whenever you see a new timeline, it automatically comes with a format. You have a big picture going across the top where you can add a banner, similar to Facebook or Twitter. You also have a cover photo you can add right here. Then the title of the timeline, you can give an introduction. Then there's all these headings down here. And if you want to do multiple headings, you can, or you can just leave it blank and will not appear. And now the different blocks that you saw earlier. there's a text block. So any kind of text that you want to write, you can do that here. And it will be there. Insert the image description, insert an image. If you click on where it says press here to upload image, you're going to have two options for the media uploader. You can either upload an image from your computer, or you can copy the image from a URL. If you can add an attachment onto a email, you can do this. So I'm going to upload it from my computer this time. And I'm going to go to my Gettysburg Heritage folder. And I'm just going to pick a picture out of here. I'll do these medals right here and open. And you'll see these little balls kind of moving around. That's just telling you that it's loading. And to upload an audio file, I don't have an audio file right here, but you can add in sound. So if you don't want to block, you can just add in this or click on this little trash can. Yes, I'm sure. Quiz questions, I'm just going to X out of these for the time. Did you know? And you don't have to add a question. For YouTube, I'm just going to go to YouTube real quick. I'm going to type in Gettysburg. I'm going to go to the videos, Lincoln's Gettysburg Address. And all you have to do is copy and paste the URL. So I'm going to go Command-C, copy it, go back to here. Once I paste it, the video will appear. So now I can actually watch it on here. I need to add a title real quick. And once you've done that part, you can click on View Timeline, and it will show you what the timeline looked like if you were to actually make it and share it with your class. If you want to actually share the timeline with the community, you can go ahead and do that. You click on Share Timeline, put the category that it is in, continue. I'll just say history and then click Share My Timeline. If you click that button, it goes to our editor, Jonathan. He takes a look at it and he decides which timelines actually get to be placed into our community timelines. And if you explore through here, there's some amazing things that teachers are doing. It will give you a lot of ideas. These first two rows, actually, these all look new to me. I haven't looked at these yet. So when you go to the community timelines, there's going to be a lot there, more being added every single day. Reflection questions, take a look at those when you're done and just kind of think, what are some ideas that you have for using history in your classroom? And when you return to the classroom, what is one way you will increase engagement? You know, can you somehow use that comments feature and really increase the engagement in your classroom? How is that going to help students? How can you use history to personalize the learning taking place? Are you going to create an assignment that has you know, some kind of big projects that students are actually able to choose their own topic, some kind of category that's really important to them? And how can you personalize learning that way? And then the last question, what is one question you have? And I'm sure you have other sessions to go to. So this slideshow will remain available, and I can send information to the conference coordinators, and they can also send this information on to you as well. And there'll be a video of this that can actually be played later. So if you want to connect with history, go to our website, feel free to email me, reach out to us on Twitter. This is our history one. And then my information was on the second slide as well at varnerclaire.com. And thank you so much for waiting while we had those technical difficulties at the very beginning. I'm just going to change it back to my face for a moment. So thank you very much, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the conference. If you have questions, just email me and I will reply back. Thanks so much. Bye now.